going on, y'all? I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media. Okay, so we've been talking about mainstream media finally talking about Ron Paul and the delegate wins. We got Santorum. We played that clip earlier, dissing / endorsing Mitt Romney, which I think is kind of inevitable that he was going to do that. That's what politicians do. They all come together for the sake of the party. They just play with voters' heads. I feel bad for Santorum voters, too. I feel bad for those that were out there, that really did support him and really thought he was the one, and out there at the the conventions trying to be delegates, really thinking that he was going to take on Mitt Romney. And the whole time in the back of my mind, and a lot of Ron Paul supporters' minds, we knew that he was going to be dropping out. It was only a matter of time. Or actually, at one point, thought he was going to go to the convention, but definitely knew that he wasn't going to win. Okay, so just out some articles you guys could check out. Let's see here. On Forbes website, Ron Paul achieving goals even if he won't be nominee. National Review Online, Paul's delegate scramble. Why don't someone just put up there, Ron Paul might win this? Or they should put, Ron Paul is going to win this. Shouldn't Romney drop out already? All right, so let's see. What else we got here? What else? Let's see. I want to jump to this other headline that I had here. I think this is it. The media just won't let up on Ron Paul. This is at the Washington Times. Okay? And this is out today. Let's see. It's official. Ron Paul's won 2 states. He's probably going to win more. In response, most media outlets have chosen to ramp up their passive-aggressive attacks on Paul's campaign. Ever since he announced that he would seek the Republican nomination for president back in 2007, Ron Paul has been covered like no other major party candidate in U.S. history. Let's review. And this is, I'm going to go ahead and read through this because I think he has some good points in here. During his previous campaign for the 2008 Republican nomination, the media largely pretended he wasn't running at all. When he was covered, virtually every article or segment described him as a gadfly and his campaign as quixotic. Even before the first debate was held, we were assured at least twice in every news piece that Paul had little chance of winning the nomination. And that is correct. In 2008, they gave him almost no attention at all. Now, at the start of this election cycle, let's see here, the campaign was covered in much the same manner. Admittedly, the insinuations that Paul's views were fringe or crazy had diminished. It's hard to call someone crazy after all his economic predictions come true and all of the predictions of his opponents prove wrong. Exactly. Now, nevertheless, the media covering the 2012 nomination race initially pretended that Paul didn't exist. Exactly, and that's true, prompting Jon Stewart's now classic lampoon. After Paul's virtual tie in the Ames, Iowa straw poll, we were told that the new top-tier Republican candidates were Rick Perry and Michelle Bachmann, even though Ron Paul came in second place. Now, remember them? Perry dropped out after failing to recover from forgetting the names of the federal departments he proposed to eliminate in a debate. Among Bachmann's finest moments was the New Hampshire speech in which she asserted that the American Revolutionary War broke out at Lexington and Concord in New Hampshire. Now, once the media could no longer ignore Ron Paul, we were once again assured that he had no chance to win the Republican nomination. When it appeared that he might win the Iowa caucuses, we were told that a Paul win would be meaningless. Exactly. When he finished a close third in Iowa and second in New Hampshire, the media acknowledged that his performance was surprising, but maintained that he still couldn't win. He was in better shape than Bill Clinton was at this point in 1992. Why didn't Clinton get the same treatment? The media again began ignoring Ron Paul's campaign after Super Tuesday. Despite his predictions of eventual victories in several of the caucus states, after his predictions started proving accurate, the media immediately began suggesting that there was something sneaky or undemocratic about his strategy, even though it is perfectly legitimate. Now that Paul has won the majority of delegates from Maine and Nevada to the Republican National Convention, and his predictions for similar results in Missouri, Washington, Iowa, and other states suddenly sound very credible, the media have a new disclaimer to add to the list. Not only must any mention of Paul contain the usual negatives, but the deliberately Republican delegate selection process is suddenly arcane. According to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, arcane means known or knowable only to the initiate, secret. Let's see here. The delegate selection process of Maine. Regardless of whether they agree with Ron Paul, what other major candidate in the U.S. history has been covered this way? Regardless of whether they agree with Ron Paul on the issues, even the minimally curious have to wonder why the media appear to be trying so hard, especially concerning someone they repeatedly assert has no chance. Whether Republican, Democrat, Independent, or disinterested, they should be asking the same question that I asked last week. What about Ron Paul are the media so afraid of? And this is Tom Mullen over at Washington Times, and that's right. What is the media so afraid of? And I try to tell people this, especially people that support Obama, because I know a lot of Obama supporters, and I tell them, why do you think Obama got so much media attention? Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know that Fox News and the right was hating on him and saying things about him. And even in some cases, I think they were lying on him. But look at the way the left treated him. All love. He's a change candidate. He's going to come change Washington. Even though Senator Obama did nothing to even give you the impression that's what was going to happen. So I try to tell people, you want to know who your candidate really is, who's really speaking for you, who really cares about you. It's the one that they don't tell you about. There's a reason why they don't talk about certain candidates, because there's things that we're not supposed to know, that they don't want us to know. And when people start coming out telling the truth, they got to do everything they can to suppress the truth. And it is a difference from 2008 and 2012. 2008, there was really no love at all, pretty much. 2012, they got to kind of fake it a little bit more. Hannity's definitely different. If I've noticed anyone, he seems to be a lot more different with Ron Paul. But I mean, what else do we got to do? I mean, we're spreading, we're getting bigger, we're winning delegates, but still, then that tells you that this dude is the truth. He is the one that's trying to change the whole system. So much that he got media whores scared because they're going to be out of a job. Shoot, who knows? They'll probably be exposed to war crimes or whatever else just because of their getting their hands dirty with these politicians that they're in bed with, going to these White House correspondence dinners and, all laughing together like everything's all gravy. I know we're killing people in Afghanistan. We're taking people's rights away in America, but we're lying about bin Laden, but it's okay, though. Everything's still great. So don't forget, coming up in the next hour, if everything goes as planned, everything should be fine. We're going to be talking to Ginger, who was at the Maine convention, and she did post a lot of videos up, or a couple videos up on YouTube, talking about the shenanigans going on with the Romney campaign and other people that were there. There's a video going around where the Ron Paul supporters actually pointed out, put the camera on the guy that was passing out the fake slates, the fake Ron Paul slates. And boy, when the camera's put on these Romney bots, they run, they flee. He actually ran to the security guard or the police. It's like, man, what are you running? Who are you running to? For what? This is a public place. The media's here. Everything's on camera. So ridiculous, man. But let us try and do that. They would have stopped the whole convention. They would have stopped the whole thing. But I think Romney's attorney's on it. He's on it right away. From what I heard, Romney sent attorneys right away to both Nevada and Maine. All right, so we'll be back after the break. I'm Paco, your host. You're listening to Occupy the Media.